I think it's so important to have this little cat in a bath on my vision board. So many practices that really help my mental and physical health that I just didn't prioritize or didn't do. I got my iPad and my journal. The hustle is over. We're having tea now, which I just feel like that's perfect. This is a reminder that you can really start again at any time. Even if you see this video months into the new year and you feel like it's not really going the way that you planned, take a couple of days and do tiny little things to recalibrate. I love that word because to me it just means getting back to what matters, getting back to what's important to you, making time to prioritize those things, because that is ultimately what makes up a good life. Why is 2026 going by so fast? Holy hell. I'm officially marking today the start of my year because who made the start of the year on January 1st? January 1st is a time for hibernating. It's a time for rest. It's a time for relaxation. It is most certainly not time for me to be an ambitious girl. Welcome back to my channel if you're new here. My name is JC. Today's video is going to be really like a start to the new year video. I am feeling the urge to organize. I'm feeling the urge to make a vision board, to dream up what my year is gonna look like. I feel like it's crazy that the New Year's is in January because this for me is a time of hibernation and rest, and it's not really a time where I'm feeling super ambitious or want to start a lot of new goals. Honestly, I never really make any New Year's resolutions or subject myself to having really crazy habits or rigid goals, but I do like to start the new year off with intention, and I feel like I just honestly haven't really done that. So this video is just going to be a relaxing, grounding, intentional start to the new year. Hopefully this video just serves as a reminder to you that it's okay if your start of the year didn't go as planned. Maybe you started it out with a lot of intention and then, you know, you just fell off. Maybe the holidays and the start of the year has just been so crazy that you haven't even really had time to think about it. I feel like it's really easy to be like, oh, it's already February. I already missed a whole month of the year. I can't start anything because I already messed up the first month of the year. And that is what I call the lovely all or nothing mindset. Imagine if there was something that you really wanted to do this year and you didn't start it because you were 1 month behind. Instead of realizing you still have 11 months, not to mention the whole rest of your life. So if there's something that you really want to do, don't beat yourself up over having a slow start to the year. I really believe, honestly, that the new year should be like in spring, and this is a time of rest and hibernation. But alas, here we are going with the Gregorian calendar. However, I've honestly just been really listening to my body. I feel like it's needed a lot of extra rest lately. It's felt very sensitive. This week in particular, I've been really craving a lot of organization. I've been wanting to clean my whole space, organize all my drawers, closets, cabinets, which really always happens when I'm in my luteal. It also just serves as a little reminder for you that if the first month of your year didn't go exactly as you planned, it's okay. Can just start again every single month, every single week, every single day. These markers are really just arbitrary moments in time, and you can start over, refresh, change direction at any point that you need. So you don't need a new year to start or a new month or a Monday. Today is literally a random Friday where I just decided it would feel good to do a little refresh. So first things first, a little organization. I already did my closets in my bedroom this morning, so now I'm about to tackle the bathroom. So let's finish some organizing because then my mind will be nice and clear. We can talk about the new year. We can talk about my goals, my hopes, my dreams, and then finally we will make our vision board together. Let's do it. Wait, I just want to show you my closet because I'm feeling very proud that I did this morning. I should have taken a before, but the after, she's looking beautiful. I organized all my drawers. I got rid of stuff. So we're proud. We're proud. Time for the bathroom. I feel like if you've watched any of my YouTube videos, you've seen a lot of this bathroom because I'm always organizing. Well, we meet again. Okay, so like as usual, these are needing some organization. As usual, this is needing some organization. I really, guys, I do try, but I just feel like I don't have enough room for the things, and I need to get rid of things. Let's see, especially with a lot of travel, like a lot of things were just coming in and out of this at all times. This needs to be reorganized. I'm gonna listen to an audiobook. I'm listening to The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. Okay, hi. I spent the whole day organizing and cleaning, and I just changed our bedding, so I'm finally in a good place. And now I'm honestly so tired. Before we vision board, I wanted to sit down and talk about how my 2025 went and like what I'm thinking about for 2026, what my intentions are. I've done a couple of verbal reflections on the year with some of my close friends and with Ben. Really, when I look back at 2025, the one word that comes to mind is resilience. 2025 was a crazy year. So much change happened. A lot of my best friends moved away from New York. I moved in with Ben to a new apartment. There was like a lot of dynamic changes in my life. I kind of hit rock bottom with a lot of my health issues, and I just was so depressed for so many months of the year. I probably was at like the worst point of my health and therefore like my mental health. And then towards the end of the year, I ended up being at one of the best places. I felt way better from so much testing, getting new doctors, kind of like getting to the root cause of a lot of things that were causing a ton of inflammation in my body and starting new health protocols. There was also a lot of points where like, since my social dynamics were shifting, really close girlfriends had moved, and then I hadn't had new really close friends in New York. So there was just a lot of points where I felt kind of sad and lonely. But halfway through the year, I met some incredible new friends. I feel like I found so many new girlfriends that I love, and my health was in a good place, and I was feeling settled at home, and I just felt like I ended the year in a really peaceful, good place. It was also my first year being a full-time creator. I left my job in tech in December of 2024. I left my full-time job in tech in December 2024, and then this past December was 1 year of doing it full-time, which went better than I could have ever imagined. Like, it actually is such a dream to be able to do this as my full-time job. I have the best team. You guys are the best community in the world, and I just feel like I get to show up as my full self all the time and then get paid for it. So that is actually crazy. That being said, I did a lot of trial and error to figure out what worked for me in running my own business and kind of unlearning a lot of the corporate things that I had picked up from working for 5 years at a corporate job. Yeah, there was just like a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, it was my first time doing it, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. But now that I have like a full year under my belt and I feel like that is in a really good place, 2026 will be a year that I get to kind of start tackling some of my more ambitious dreams and like things that I really know fulfill me and light me up inside. Knowing that I have a good foundation with my business kind of allows me to step into those things a bit more. When I was thinking about my word of the year for 2026, I always pick a word of the year. Last year, my word was actually spacious. But then looking back, I think like what really came out of it in my reflection was resilience. And then going into this year, the word that came to mind was devoted. And devoted to me is a very sacred word. And it's really to be intentional about why I'm doing the things that I'm doing and to shape my days in a way that feels like I'm working towards something that's really meaningful, and that the things on my to-do list are not just like things that I want to check off, but really in service to something greater. And to also find the magic in the mundane and to kind of romanticize the everyday, which I talk about a lot, but I find myself already in the first month of the year with it being so busy. There were so many practices that I really love that really help my mental and physical health that I just didn't prioritize or didn't do. And going into the rest of the year, I really want to make those things into a ritual. And it could be in really small ways, whether that's just like lighting some incense or Palo Santo while I'm meditating or journaling. And yeah, just cutting through the noise. If there's things that I'm doing kind of just to do them, but like they're not really making an impact for me, then letting them go. And if there's things that I know would really be beneficial, but like I'm kind of getting in my own way and not doing them, just being honest with myself about that and starting to reincorporate them and find ways that I can make it more sustainable. One of those things being meditation. Meditation is so important to me, and it's not something that like every single time you do it and you're like, that was the best thing ever. Sometimes it's very challenging and sometimes it doesn't feel good in the moment, but I notice such a difference in how I'm able to show up in my everyday life when I am meditating regularly. And I haven't been consistent with it in a while. I think it's because I tried to do it in the morning and I don't know, something it like doesn't fit into my morning routine well. Like I kind of want to get up and going in the morning, and I really like to write and move in the morning. So I'm thinking like I need to find some time maybe in the afternoon or at night that would make it so that I can be sustainable with this. Also really prioritizing yoga as a form of movement. I'm really into strength training, and I'm obsessed with the Evlo app. It's a strength training app all backed by a physical therapist, and I've been so consistent with that. I love having a guided trainer basically when I go to the gym, and I don't have to think about what movements I'm doing or if I'm doing the right things. You can choose how many days a week you want to do it and how long you want to do it. So I do 4 days a week, and I've been so consistent with that for a really long time. So I want to start incorporating yoga back in. If you guys didn't know, I'm actually a yoga teacher, and yoga is a huge part of my life. Whenever I don't do it, I definitely notice the difference in my mental health. If I sprinkle it back in, I'm like, oh my God, why am I not going to yoga every single day? This is so good for me. So I'm gonna try to just start going twice a week, maybe once on the weekends and once during the week, because I feel like that really plays into my devotion practice. Yoga for me is such a practice that connects me to my creativity and helps me to feel so much more like myself. One fun intention that I really want to start, and we're actually going tomorrow to do the first one, is to go to the farmer's market once a month and make a seasonal recipe from it. I am such a food fixator. I could eat the same thing every single day for the rest of my life. I definitely don't have a lot of diversity with my food, but in my ideal life, when I envision my ideal self, that version of me goes to the farmer's market every week, cooks fresh, organic, seasonal vegetables and meals. That just sounds so amazing to me. So I wanted to start to incorporate that into my life right now, because why not? We live near a farmer's market and there's literally no reason not to. So tomorrow, Ben and I are going to go to the farmer's market and we're going to make our first seasonal recipe. I'm so excited. I'll keep you guys posted. On the community front, I want to do some things in person this year. Like I really want to host my first in-person event with you guys and do some more creative workshops. I want to do more speaking engagements, like speaking on panels, and specifically going into middle or high school or even college and talking to students about mental health and creativity. Really just how I transitioned from being obsessed with accomplishment, super perfectionistic type A, to how I am now, and how much more fulfilling it is to like really understand and live by your values, and how that's really just changed my whole entire life. So I am already starting to get connected with some schools, and I actually spoke on a panel with my university last week, which was so much fun, and I can't wait to do more of that. Another thing on the front of work is I'm working on a secret project that I am so excited about and that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. I've really gotten in my own way about it and thought that it was going to be like this whole big thing that I could never accomplish, and I've started to talk to some people and break down the steps and figure out like how I can make it tangible. So that is something that I'm starting to work on, and as soon as I build it out a little bit more, I will fill you guys in on everything, trust me. And what else? Posting on YouTube weekly is one of my goals. You guys are really such a priority to me this year. I said that last year and I got in my own way, and I really love making long form content so much. So I am, as best as possible, going to try to get out of my own way and consistently post videos on here for you guys. And then on the life front, I really want to go to Pacific Northwest and go on like a big nature trip this year. Ben and I were just talking about it last night, and it's something that we've said that we wanted to do for years, and I pitched it when we were talking about like our trips for the year, and I think that we're finally gonna do it this year. So that will be so fun. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. This is kind of all over the place because I just wrote down a list to tell you guys, but I've also just been loving really investing in my girlfriends. I think as an adult with a partner and with a lot of other things going on, it's really easy to kind of neglect other areas of your life because they take more effort and you kind of just get into your routine. But investing in your friends as an adult is so important. Like I know everyone is so busy and tired. Even just like a small voice note or putting the things that they have in your calendar when they have something important, remembering the little details goes such a long way. And just like finding fun ways to connect. I'm hosting a Valentine's Day party for my friends soon, and I can't wait to just celebrate all the women that I love so much. And yeah, it's been really beautiful to have such rich, deep friendships with the girls that I've been friends with with for years and feel like I have people in my life who I can truly be my full self with, and that I could call them and say anything, and it's like a totally judgment-free space, and you really only get there with time and intention and attention. I feel like our society kind of just promotes giving that love only to a romantic partner, and the more that I pour that love into myself, into my female friendships, the more I just see everything in my life have so much more harmony, and it really is so beautiful. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to thinking about, dreaming for in 2026, just for a little bit of context for my vision board. And how I do the vision board is I like to start with how I want to feel during the year. So clearly from what I was saying, I want to feel grounded, I want to feel a little bit whimsy and playful, I want to feel creative, I want to feel connected to my spirituality and my creativity. I want to feel like the everyday is kind of magic and sacred, and that I'm doing things with intention. That's kind of the energy that we're going into the vision board with, and I really think that these are so powerful. Every year I do a look back and I go through my camera roll and I compare my vision board to my camera roll, and every year it blows me away. It's actually insane how closely the images are to what I dreamed of in my vision board. This happens because of science. There is like basically limitless things around you at all times for your brain to take in, and if you don't kind of like tune the filter of what you're looking for, anything will just come in and you will not really have much control over what comes into your version of reality. But there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, and that is like what kind of picks out what you pay attention to. In a small example, I really love butterflies, and I always, whenever I leave my apartment, I see a butterfly somewhere, whether that's on someone's clothing or on the streets, in artwork somewhere. My brain is just primed to look for butterflies, and I see them everywhere. But you might have something like a star or a ladybug or whatever, and whatever that is for you, you could walk the same exact paths as me and you wouldn't see any butterflies at all, but you might see ladybugs everywhere or something like that. And it's the same with opportunity and the things that are in your life. So doing a vision board kind of like primes your brain. Okay, what should I pay attention to? What should I really focus on in a world of limitless potential and opportunity? What am I going to let in? Seeing it in pictures is really expansive for your brain, because then it realizes, okay, this is real. This is something that I could really achieve. So once you start believing that and you start talking about it to people and you start expanding your surface area of possibility, really magic things start to happen in your life. I guarantee if there's something that you really want and you start talking about it everywhere, you start convincing yourself that you're worthy of it, you start talking about it when you're in line at the coffee shop, you start telling your friends and family about it, and you just start to like make this a part of your identity, there's gonna be opportunity that comes your way. It might not be exactly what you think it is, but trust me, I bet you it will lead to where you want to go. That's my whole vision board talk. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it, as you can see, which is why I really want to make time for it this weekend, because I know how powerful it can be. I probably am not going to do this until tomorrow, because pretty soon tonight we're going to go to a lecture all about imagination and play and creativity at an amazing place called Olio. Olio is a community where they get college professors or speakers to come in and give a lecture about really interesting topics. We went to one on the sublime, and it was all about art and your sense of wonder. It was amazing. Like I don't remember a time where I've just sat and been so captivated for over 2 hours by someone. So tonight, Ben and one of my best friends, Brett, and I are going to go to the one on imagination, which I just feel like could not be more perfect for me, and I'm so grateful that I have a partner and that I have friends that will spend a Friday night going to a lecture on play and imagination. Like, that is just so cool to me. So I'm gonna make some dinner, and then I'm gonna go to that talk, and tomorrow we'll start the day off with some journaling and vision boarding. Oh, I just changed out of my robe and put on my favorite cozy sweat set. This one is from Roots, and I just love it. I have the sweatpants and the sweatshirt, and you know that feeling when you just get a new sweat set? I got this one in November, I think, and since November it's been my go-to. But I got my iPad and my journal, and now I am going to do some Pinterest scrolling I've already started to save some photos, and what I really like to focus on is how I want to feel this year, because I think it's really easy to just go on your vision board and put in everything that you want to accomplish without really thinking about what are the things that you're going to do on a day-to-day basis and how you're going to feel on a day-to-day basis to get to those goals and dreams that you want to bring into your life. So like I always like to put in photos that are in progress photos. If I'm going to do something about posting on YouTube consistently, I'm not just going to add a 50,000 subscriber milestone. I'm also going to add pictures of people filming and editing and all of the things that go into building your subscribers. And I like to just get like general photos that capture the essence of what I'm going for. I have a couple of different boards. So there's one where I'll just do for 2026. I title it something like magic that will happen in 2026 and things that I am hoping and dreaming for, and I'll put there. And then while I'm scrolling, if I see just like general life things that I want, things that might happen in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, I also have a separate life vision board where I put things like my future family or what future house I want to live in or like big trips that I want to go on, and I'll add them there too. So I like to have a bunch of different boards so that if I see a photo, I can kind of save it. I also am pretty whimsical with my mood boards, so I like to add little characters or symbols, like animated things. Like this is a good example of something that I would save, because then I would just cut out these little guys and like sprinkle them throughout my vision board, because I think it makes it feel so much more like me, and also I just think it makes it more joyful and fun to look at. I love Pinterest so much. I always get so much inspiration. Finally have all of the images. These are some of the ones that I collected. It's a lot of nature, a lot of girl time, speaking on panels, hobbies, filming for YouTube, places that I want to visit, and just like cute little sayings, a lot of little characters. I love this girl. You know, it's a mix of whimsical and practical, which is what we always like to see. Also a lot of bath time on here, so that's really important. But then I just take the app Shuffles, which integrates right with your Pinterest board, and I started doing it this morning. So these are all my Pinterest boards, and then I click this one where I have all the photos saved. And then sometimes I'll go between like, do we want just this little Pikachu character? Like he's so cute like that. And like I'll just put these on like the corner of images where they intersect to kind of hide the hard edges. Sometimes I want the whole image. So like this one's really cute of like girls hosting. So then I'll go in and I could either just make a shape and kind of like pull out the part of the image that I want, and then it will just go to my board like that. And then I can move it around, I could switch the layers. I usually play around with this for a very long time to get it to how I want it to look, because yeah, there's just like an art to the layering. And then at the end I usually go in and put like the little characters and sayings, and I put them on top of the corners and stuff, and like that is really what pulls it together and gives it the scrapbook feel. But the good thing about this being digital is that you can change your mind many times. So you can delete stuff, move it around, change the order. I would say like the main things that are depicted on this vision board are being in nature. I really want to go to Pacific Northwest this year. A lot of girlhood and like empowering young women, being around inspiring women, crafting, girls' craft nights, dancing, this sensation of being free, moving your body in free ways, being grounded. And then there's a couple of like more tangible things, 100K YouTube plaque, filming for YouTube, speaking on panels, hosting events, doing yoga and meditation. These are like the silly things that I add to my vision board. Like this one says, the hustle is over, we're having tea now, which I just feel like that's perfect for my vibe. And stuff like this. Like I think it's so important to have this little cat in a bath on my vision board to like remind me that is very important for these moments of luxury and self-care. And overall, like just this idea of making every day feel like a ritual and a luxury is the energy that I want to bring into this year. So putting in little reminders of that next to some of my bigger vision and goals so that like I can kind of stay balanced between the two. So yeah, I'm probably going to play around with this for a while. I also might make a different version on Canva, which is just like the actual images kind of square by square instead of the scrapbook feel, because I like to use something like this for my background, but I also know that it can get a bit chaotic and like you can kind of lose the vibe of what you're going for. So I might make like a more practical vision board, but yeah, I feel like it's looking good so far. Okay, so I was journaling this morning and I wanted to show you guys this new workbook that I started, which is called Finding Water, The Art of Perseverance. It looks very similar to The Artist's Way, if you've ever done that 12-week program on creativity. This is her third book, which I've had on my bookshelf for so long, and I don't know why I've never picked it up, but I really feel like these books always just find you at the exact right time. This is Julia Cameron's book all on nurturing your creative practice. So I feel like The Artist's Way is a lot about starting your creative practice and letting yourself indulge in like the dreams that you have, and it's really good for someone who creativity is not a huge focus of your life and you really want to add it in more. The Artist's Way is amazing for that. But if you're someone who is very creative and has like a regular creative practice, some of the messages in that book just might not resonate. So I'm really loving this one, Finding Water, because it's all about persevering when your art or your project is maybe feeling stuck, or it's not having the outcome that you expect, or when you need fresh inspiration or a renewed sense of possibility in your creative practice. Right now, I'm in a phase where I'm really outputting a lot of my creativity. Like I'm posting a lot, I'm sharing my ideas a lot, and I think you can kind of get into a bit of like a block or a rut where you're like, what else do I really have to share? Like, how could I share this message in a new way, or how could I share a new message? I was talking to Ben about this, and something that we were talking about was when you're a beginner, you have a lot of input and not enough output. Like you're consuming so much information, or you're learning a new skill and you're not ready to output it yet. And then once you're like farther along in your creative practice, you almost have too much output and you forget to nurture the input, things that are renewing your sense of inspiration, going on long walks, going on these artist dates or solo dates, doing things that light your inner child up inside. And I feel like having the structure of this book is so helpful to prioritize those things. Honestly, after this week and just slowing down a little bit to think about the year at a broader scale, to make my vision board and start making tiny steps to implement some of the practices that I really want to do this year, like making time for meditation and yoga and going to the farmer's market and cooking new meals, working towards these bigger projects and goals and dreams that I have and setting them into motion in tiny ways is feeling really good. I'm so glad that I took the time to do this, because I feel like January was moving so quickly that I didn't even have a chance to catch my breath, and I felt like time was just moving by so fast. I just wasn't really making time for the things that I wanted, and it didn't feel like a good way to start off the year. But this is your reminder that you can really start again at any time. So even if you see this video months into the new year and you feel like it's not really going the way that you planned, just take a couple of days and do tiny little things. Not even get back on track, because I really believe like there's no one track that you need to be on. Life is very dynamic and you have to kind of adapt to the things that are coming up as they come up, but just to recalibrate. I love that word, because to me it just means getting back to what matters, getting back to what's important to you, and making time to prioritize those things, because that is ultimately what makes up a good life. I hope this video gave you a little bit of inspiration, a bit of comfort, reduced your sense of urgency, and I'm really excited to be back making YouTube videos. I have so many exciting videos planned for the rest of the year, so make sure that you are subscribed to stay notified when I post new videos to this cozy little corner of the internet that we have here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!